Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to start with nothing in eLumen and create an assessment, then assign it to faculty in your department as a department chair. You're going to want to go into your department coordinator role. If you have other roles here, make sure you don't go into those roles. Just stick to your department coordinator role. Then you're going to go here to SLOs and assessments, and then click on assessments. Now I'm going to go ahead and add an assessment. Now, this is a big warning. Before you start, make sure you already have this information written down elsewhere. A common support issue I have been receiving is people saying they lost their work or they don't know what to type. So if you have nothing created yet, don't go into any eLumen yet. Start off with thinking about how you're going to connect your learning outcomes in your course to an assessment that can help you gauge whether or not students are learning, and think about what description you're going to write here that others could read and what you're going to call that. Also, if you are in a larger department and you're going to have multiple full-time and part-time faculty creating and managing and assessing their course using some sort of shared rubric or shared materials, make sure you have that document created before you even open up eLumen, because you can actually upload an evaluator assessment guide here. So as well as already having a document created to distribute to faculty full and part-time in your department, you're going to want to have agreed on your rating scale. Does your department just want to have meets, does not meet, or do you want to have meets expectations, does not meet expectations, exceeds expectations? Do you want to partially meet expectations? So make sure all of this is agreed upon. The idea here is before you even go into eLumen, you should already have a plan of how you're going to go through and evaluate the effectiveness of the teaching of a specific course in your department. So here I'm just going to type in name of my assessment. And of course, I'm making up just a very generic name, and I'm going to say this is a test assessment for applied calculus. Now, always, we get this question, I'll always select summative. It's on all the training materials. You want to make sure you always select summative. And then I'm going to use spell check here because I did not spell calculus correctly. Now, do not touch the reflections template ever. Do not X that out. Just ignore this completely. So now that I have my name of the assessment, a description, it says summative, I left the reflection template alone. I'm going to go ahead and upload Evaluator Assessment Guide. And I created something real fast, and I just put it here in my downloads. Assessment Guide for Departments. In my department, I know faculty like to use shared questions on exams. And that would be something you could share with your department. So again, this is a big point I want to stress. You should not be on eLumen until all of this is ready and saved offline. If you have a 1,000-word description here, the last thing you want to do is start typing it in here and then be timed out and lose all your work. Save it offline first and then come into eLumen. And then you're going to want to scroll down, and I'm just going to select meets, does not meet, and don't select activity-oriented single student learning outcome. If you do that, you will have to create a separate assessment for each student learning outcome. So if you have 7 learning outcomes, that's 7 separate assessments. So go ahead and select outcomes-oriented. And then you can guess at the number of student learning outcomes, or if you know them off the top of your head, you can enter them. But honestly, you can just leave it at 1 and click Generate Rubric Template. But here's an important but. Don't click on this until you are certain you like your template and you're ready to go, because if you're an outcomes oriented and you click Generate Rubric Template, once you do that, there is no changing this. So there he is. There we are. And notice I can't change it anymore, and I can't delete this last line. So I'm going to go link SLO, and I'm going to scroll down here. Notice I have access to all of the courses in my department. I'm going to look for Math 140 Applied Calculus, and I'm going to select all of the learning outcomes. At our institution, you do need to assess every learning outcome in a course every time its cohort comes up in our 5-year cycle. So I'll select the first one, and then I'm going to add a row, and then link the learning outcome. And notice the first student learning outcome is gone. So I'm going to click the second one and add a row, And just keep doing this until you've added all the learning outcomes for your course. And there's one more left for me, student learning outcome number 5. There we are. I have them all here. So again, to summarize, as my department coordinator role, I went to SLO and Assessments tab. I clicked on Assessments at the far right below. I kept it at Individual Student Scorecard and Rubric. I named my assessment. I typed a description. I selected Summative. I left the reflections template as is without changing a thing. I uploaded an evaluator assessment guide. If your department does have multiple full and part-time faculty teaching a course, this is a must-have. You really do need this out here for consistency. And then I selected my rating scale. Notice I can't change it now. So I made sure I was certain that I wanted meets, does not meet before I clicked Generate Rubric Template. I selected Outcomes Oriented, and then I added a row for each of my learning outcomes. And now instead of just clicking Save, I'm going to go Save and Plan. So here I am on my planner, and I want my faculty in my department, for this example, I want faculty in my department to assess it this semester. So if you notice, here I am at this semester, and I'm going to go without plan. Because if you select with plan, that means there's already assessments here, and I haven't put an assessment here yet. Notice, like, I haven't. We just created it. So I'm going to check with plan. And then I'm going to go, here it is, name of my assessment. That's actually what I named my assessment. If you remember from earlier in the video, you're going to click and hold and drag this here to Applied Calculus. And notice it says all. We're going to set up the plan for all sections of Math 140 Applied Calculus in the spring 2025 semester. It's going to find the assessments for all sections. And of course, you can add it to any new sections included in the term, but that's for future use. That is, if you're planning ahead of time, a year ahead of time, and so on. There's no reason you can't get ahead on, next year's assessments. I'm going to check next here. And now here you can send alerts. I can send an alert to the course coordinator, which is whoever has their name on the course outline of record. The department coordinator is the department chair, so you and any co-chairs that may be department coordinators. Also, your division coordinator is your dean. This will send the notification a certain number of days after the start of the term, and this semester's already started, so you know what? I'm going to select 100 days. And then I'm going to say it's due 1 day before the end of the semester, and I'm going to send a notification to faculty a week before the due date. Notification message, please assess Math 140 this semester. Oops. See evaluation guide for more info. And again, the evaluation guide is a document I uploaded. In fact, you don't even have to include this. If this is going to confuse you, then ignore it, please. Alert message, do not forget that your Math 140 assessment is due soon. And then I'm going to click confirm. Of course, you don't have to do the send notification and alerts. If you don't actually want to send a notification and alert and you notice this button won't let you go, oops, oh, I didn't check it, good. It won't let you move forward. That's because you don't have anything here. Once you have all these boxes filled out, then you can click confirm. In this case, I'm going to leave send notifications and alerts. If you uncheck it, the confirm button will just automatically let you check it forward. Now, these do tend to go to our junk mail. So make sure you tell faculty to check their junk mail, and if they see notifications from eLumen, please read them. Now I'm going to go confirm, and here it says planned successfully. So you may be wondering, well, what are faculty going to see when they log into eLumen? Say you have 5 part-timers teaching this course, and you want to tell them what to expect. Well, you would help them log into eLumen. Of course, it's going to look different here. I'm in our test site. Whenever you are playing around in eLumen and try to get to understand and know what to do, use the test site. Don't use the live site, please. Now, that was a bit of a digression. In order to see what faculty will look or what they will get when they open up eLumen, go ahead and open up your faculty role. And when you're in your faculty role, you automatically start off in your inbox here. And if you ever click away from that, you can just tell anyone if they're ever saying, oh, I don't see it, I clicked away, I don't know what to find it, always click your inbox. Just inbox, inbox, inbox. Get that into faculty's heads in your department to always just click their inbox. And now if I scroll down here, you can ignore this one. This one I planned in a previous video and it's partially scored. This one, these two, that is, I'm teaching 2 sections of this course currently. And it has name of my assessment, activity name of my assessment, because that's all I put in my information boxes. I can click here and score my students. So when you score, go to scorecard view. That's the fastest one. Oops. And you'll see your students' names here, which I've anonymized for this video. And then you can go ahead and write meets expectations, does not meet, and then I realize, uh-oh, I should look at the evaluator assessment guide. And here it is. I can download that assessment guide. And let me go ahead and open it. Anything you wrote down that you want faculty to know about this assessment, they are now able to see it. There it is. So if you have lots of faculty assessing a course, do not open up Ellumin and create this assessment until you have your information, your assessment guide in essence already created. And so I'm going to go ahead and score these students, and I'm going to say this student did not meet these ones, and with my activity I chose, they actually are not applicable. They didn't answer those questions on the activity I chose, so I'm going to put not applicable. This student here, they met all expectations. This student here decided not to submit that activity, so none of them are applicable. And then this student here did pretty well at first, and then on these learning outcomes, maybe not so well. So anyways, you're going to go all the way through, and once you're at your last students, you're going to go save and continue to reflection. Here, we expect you to please answer the first 3 questions. Now, below that, you have 3 additional fields for any other narrative that you want to include in your assessment. Go ahead and write out the additional narrative. So this is optional. If you don't have anything to add, you can just go ahead and type in NA, and then you can submit and share, and you're done. And now I can go look at my Results Explorer, and I can see the performance of my learning outcomes, and I can see my student mastery compared to other courses. And this is anonymously. So I can see where I am at certain learning outcomes. For some, I'm doing better. For some, I'm not doing better. And I can see that I've only partially completed reflections there. Because I still, if I went to my inbox, I have a whole other one that I haven't completed here. All right, please keep calm and assess on.